some misconception over here that only the tier 1 or from the students who are from the IITs or NITs only they generally get into such places.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video. Today we are going to have the conversation with the Kavit Shah who recently got selected in the Mitacs Internship 2023, and he is going to share us the valuable information, the preparation strategies and what he followed while filling the application form. And for those people who don't know about the Mitacs Internship, I have already created the many videos on this channel which you can check it out. I will put the link in the description. So without any further delay, let's get started. So hi Kavit, so we have several questions to ask you regarding your journey, how you get selected into this internship. So we will try to cover your experience. So first of all, I wanted to cover what is your reaction once you get selected in this Mitecs internship? Dream for all of us to get into the foreign country.
Actually, I received the mail from Mitex, so it was around close to early morning, around 4:30 a.m. or so. So once I woke up, I was just checking my mail and just saw that okay, there is some mail which I'm received from the Mitex Globalink over there. So I just clicked, and over there I just saw that okay, I have been selected. So I was just speechless because at that same very moment, my parents had their marriage anniversary, and so I just didn't thought much. Them the news here, I just got selected. So their reaction was like priceless, and they all just everyone was so happy and just thought that this was the best ever gift I could ever give it to them in the marriage anniversary at that time. So
Yeah.
it was very happy moment for me. So
You come to this internship, you have to do the several formalities like selecting the projects and preparation of these documents such as the CV, SOP, LOR, etc. So we will start from the very initial. So how did you select the projects? Is there any strategy that you follow?
strategy that I followed was that all know that there are around close to 2000 plus projects which are being offered by Mitex in one single year.
Yeah.
So from out of 2000, we just have to select seven, and from that also we just have to ensure that we select four provinces out of them. And being focused, we have to select our projects which can be very niche. Selecting 2000 to 7 would be a hideous task. Just it was so. For example, if some person is involved in like software development or let's say machine learning, so if you will just go towards the projects based on machine learning, there would be more than 200 or 300 plus projects listed out of that. So but to select them, so the strategy which I followed was that just to try to narrow it down more plus smaller clusters. So like if you are into a machine learning, then try to select a particular domain over there in which you feel that you can your application skills would be might useful. It could be in the healthcare domain or in the supply chain or transport, or it could be in some another, it could be in the algorithmic way, it could be in a mathematical or theoretical manner or whatsoever. So if you just try to narrow it down, so that's how I did for my part. So as I was quite interested, intrigued towards the field of quantum computing as well as machine learning, tailored the projects which were linked between quantum computing and machine learning. So that's how I just selected the seven projects based upon that. So the list gets quite shortened out.
So I think this is the most time consuming part that is being involved while filling your application, and this needs to be done with so much patience. You have to select the project, and your suggestion will definitely going to help. Yeah. Thing is that regarding your profile, the CV is main document that you need to upload. So what do you think that is being highlighted in your profile?
Talking about CV, so like as we are seeing our projects and list of projects, so like based upon my interest which was there, so my CV highlighted things about machine learning, quantum computing. So I had past internships which were based upon in the field of machine learning, and had written one research paper which was in the field of quantum computing, and it got accepted over here before my application. So I had tailored my resume in such a manner that it highlighted only the specifications of machine learning and quantum computing, because the projects which I would be selecting would be based just upon that. So it's advisable. So like if a person is selecting a project, so just try to tailor your resume or CV in such a manner that it highlights and it tells a detailed person about like why you are selecting this project, and what all are the reasons like why you want to mention this over here.
What advice that you wanted to give the first or second year student?
Yeah, so exactly, like if you don't have a research paper, there is not much big of a problem. But yeah, if you do have one, you definitely will have a plus one against all the peers if you are applying over there. So
Yeah.
if the professor has a list of 10 students and they just have to interview a students based upon that. So luckily, so they would only select those who will fulfill the criteria at the maximum level. So like if you have the research paper, definitely in the safe position. But the important factor which over here is that you must have somewhat domain knowledge towards that particular project which you are applying. You just need to build something from yourself, highlight the things like to show that okay, your interest lies towards this particular field or the project which you are applying to. So if a professor can see that interest because of the projects or the way of the courses which you have taken, so if it's a somewhat a new domain or a new niche domain where much work hasn't been done, but you have taken up the courses and you have tried to build something productive over there, your projects are being mentioned. So this will highlight the things, even though you don't have a research paper, you know how to practically understand such things and how to apply them and build something which could be used. So that is the thing which generally a professor would like to see, because you are coming over there as a research intern, so we are not a researcher over there. So generally that doesn't mean they don't accept us from that we would be something good in research. So that's what we are going over there to learn about, that how basically a research is being done and how well things are being oriented right from the minute scale to the optimum level. So that is not much big of a problem. But the general advice would be that first of all, just try to explore the various domains in which your particular syllabus has been taught, or upon which your bachelor's degree is being conducted. It could be in any field. If you're not interested in that particular field and in some another field, just try to explore various domains or the sub fields which are involved over there. Just try to get the basic concepts clear, how things are being worked in that particular area. Try to build something at your level. So once you just get familiarized with some basic concepts, then you can try to move forward with some building projects by your own, or with the help of someone, with some of your colleagues, or with the help of a professor who could guide you for building a project. So even after that, so like there is a plenty of time for you, so you just don't have to write rush towards the research paper, because research is something where it requires a substantial amount of time and knowledge right beforehand before you get over here. So it is generally advisable not to get into research directly. First of all, try to explore the domain till the depth. So what happens, students over here, is that some just might get hyped up with some buzzwords and just want to write a research paper. But when they get into the depth of that, and then they feel like, okay, I don't want to this all mathematics and all. This is all is very boring. So you just have to understand what the main concepts are and how those all buzzwords have been oriented right from the scratch of the minute level. If you are even interested in such minute things, then you can move towards your professor and can try to convince them.
Next, talking about the other documents, the SOP, LOR, any advice that you want to provide?
What I did personally for my letter of recommendation was that I had written one research paper under one of my supervisors. So what I had done was that I contacted to write a LOR for me. So the important factor which plays over here is that because first of all, you have written a research paper under that particular professor, and if you write LOR under them, so that proves that the work which you have done, that particular faculty shows the credibility of your work. And another thing, if a person who does not have some research paper or something, so I would just advise them, you might be having some faculties or professors whom you might be some in close touch with them. The advisable thing would be that just try to update yourself towards them. So just if you're building something good, if you are having some internship, or if you're working on some projects or doing some courses, or have completed them, just try to showcase them from time to time, that okay, so along with my regular studies of work, I'm doing so and so on side by side. So even he or she will be updated regarding the things which you have been doing. So when such time comes, so they wouldn't be hesitating to write a brilliant letter of recommendation for you, because for them you won't be an unknown person. They know your whole journey right from the beginning till the end, and all the struggles which you have been facing, because
Yep.
the students who are working over here would be very less for the side hustle part. So they would definitely write an LOR.
So how many LORs that you have taken?
One is compulsory, and it's like if you add two, it's also okay. So one was that one under which I had written research papers. So the supervisor itself had written my letter of recommendation. And another one which I had said was that I was constantly in touch with one of my faculties. So like I was just trying to update him regarding what all things I've been doing during my side hustles. So when the time came, I just asked him for a favor, like if it's all right to give a letter of recommendation for me.
Regarding the SOP, bringing the SOP to 100 words, I think it's also the challenge.
So first advice would be don't copy from the internet. It's not going to work. They will receive a plenty of applicants who will have the same criteria and the same format. So there would be nothing new for them, because the SOP which you are writing is just based upon your life and your learnings. Try to mention things, but not in detail, because over here you are already attaching your CV or resume over there. So the things which you are doing in depth, they would be visiting all the things which you have been done. So just try to highlight such crucial points which are like would be able to best describe about you in very short manner. So there is no necessary to write okay internships or projects or over here in this. Just get a brief idea. Okay, you have done the internship, you have done the research paper. This all are your hobbies. That's how your CGPA or particular thing is, or your extracurricular activities or your achievements. Just try to narrow it down. Don't mention it as a whole. Just give them the crucial points about the things that are mentioned in your CV or resume. So that will give them a better idea to look upon, and that's what they would be basically seeing, especially in your CV or resume, the things which you have mentioned in your SO.
So how the journey goes after submitting the application form till you get the final offer letter from the Mitacs?
What happened was that the application deadline is generally at the time of September or so. So during that, we just have to fill out our application. So at the time of October, what happens was that the application which we have submitted, they just try to check our eligibility. So like the documents which we have submitted are all correct or not. So just to verify that, and they give out the eligibility that okay, we are eligible to be on the further round. So over there, it just the mentions in the first or second week of November over there. So as soon as the eligibility has been mentioned about us, then later on are all the profiles based upon our project selections gets forwarded towards the professor. I had received two interviews for the professor right from the beginning. So, but when the first phase results were out at the time of December, so in the December I was waitlisted because according to me, I just hope that my interview was good up to which the questions which they have been asked and how the things went. And after that, at the time of end of December, also they just tried to give one more results based upon the students who haven't accepted yet. So just it moved down lower the rank. So over there also I was waitlisted, and the final phase two results were going to be announced in the second mid of January. So over there, what the happens is that they just give us one more criteria to re-rank our projects based upon that. So over there, what I did was that I just thought that maybe if I could change the ranking of the projects, so that could give me a better idea, because ranking of the projects is also very crucial, because the projects ranks how you given, the priority to you is been given in such order only. So the priority upon which you are most confident, always try to keep that in the first part, because that will give you a major boost for selecting. There are very high chances that you will get selected, except for those if you will keep them in the second or third or below ranks over there. So I had changed the rankings over there, and luckily my project was selected upon one of the professors, and over there at the time of mid January I just got the acceptance letter from them.
So I wanted to understand in little detail about the re-ranking of the projects, how it goes.
In the re-ranking of projects, so along with my interviews, there was one particular project upon which I was somewhat confident, because based upon my bachelor's degree and how my curriculum over here designs, along with the part of work which I've been doing, so like it was a complete mixture of all of them, which I considered that might be a good fit, because of it encompasses everything over there. So I had re-ranked them somewhere in the middle of both the interviews which I had done. But when the second phase results were out, I didn't give them much priority, because I just hoped that if I would have been considered for this, then I might have been given the interview. because there are also sometimes where interview doesn't take place and you directly get the offer, but I wasn't sure that I would be one of them. So what I did was that I was just confident within myself of the interviews which I had given. So I ranked them above, upon which the both the interviews, upon which the one of which I felt that was pretty good and where I was confident, I was selected under them.
I would like to know about your interviews, like how it goes and what suggestion that you would need to provide to the students, what you think that they could prepare.
My advice to all of them would be like, if you are getting an interview, that means that half of the job is being done. So getting an interview is one of the biggest things over here in this Mitacs internship program. So very few of them just try to get towards this phase that they try to get an interview. So if you are getting an interview, that means that your profile is good, you have done an excellent job. But now it comes to an even more crucial part, that is how to convert them. Important part is that you all have to follow is that just try to know everything about them. So if there is some project under a particular professor, so what advice which I had followed during my type of during my first and second interviews, both of them, what's their background work, what all things which they have already done. So if is there any particular research paper or something which they have already been showcased or been written similar towards the project which they have been highlighting towards you right now. So if it is there, just try to read it out and make some points which you would like to ask to them during that time of interview. And if not, just try to uh, learn more about that particular project and just try to have your approach regarding how you would like to move forward that particular project. So like if you are given this task, then right from the beginning till end, what would be your rough roadmap which you would like to follow towards that. So you just need to have some brief idea regarding what all things you have been doing, because if you are applying or being scheduled for an interview, must be very thorough with the concepts of things which have been mentioned in the project itself, because that would be very useful towards them and also for you to get shortlisted amongst another competitors who might be interviewing for that same particular project. And if you have done also some background check regarding the professors, that also helps a lot. If the interview ends and at the last every professor generally asks to us that do you have any questions for us. So my
Yeah.
advice would be never say no, I don't have any questions. So according to me, where I feel is that that is the perfect moment, because towards the whole interview timeline, they were on somewhere in the driver's seat, and now over here when they are giving you the steering, you can't refuse over there. So you just have to grab that opportunity and just try to make it forward towards that. Because so over there in my first interview, my professor asked me, do you have any questions? So I asked her regarding that, if you don't mind. I started with that with a very polite manner. So I just told professor that as the project mentions regarding this, so I just tried to saw one of your webinar which was very much based upon this particular project and was uploaded on YouTube over there. So the strange part was that even the professor wasn't aware of that her particular webinar topic has been uploaded on YouTube and I had already seen over there. So she was completely amazed because that I am knowing much about her. So I also tried to see her past research work and it made few of the questions which have been written. Over there, they feel like a particular student is getting connected towards them, not just on a project over there, not just as a mentor or student based, but at a very professional level too. Even the professors have to rank the interviews which they have taken. So if you have such things over there, and if the professor ranks you above those, and your project ranking is also above them, then it would be a very perfect match of that particular project to get synced up with you, and you will get that particular project in your internship.
So I very much agreed with you. So what kind of questions that they have asked? So is it really based upon the project itself?
My first interview, so what she basically asked me questions was regarding that what I know about this particular project. So over there some keywords might be written. So she asked me questions based upon that, do you know this particular keyword? If yes, then
Hmm.
what it is. and how this particular keyword is linked towards this particular project, and what all are the similarities or how you would like to link up towards them. So it is always advisable that you just have a thorough with all the basic keywords present in the projects, so that if you won't fumble up, then there are less chances that they would go much deeper over there. During my second interview, what the things were there, professor had usually scanned my whole CV over here. So like if I had mentioned this particular project over there, then also he asked me that what was the project I had written, or so what was the work, what was the result. So he asked me to like share my screen and to explain how the whole pipeline has been working over there for this particular project, and why this particular result which I had mentioned is considered as good. So like he just wanted to get assurance upon the work which I've been doing is up to the mark or not, or do I know things which I've been doing or not. And another later the professor itself asked me that after my whole CV was scanned, so based upon that particular project, he told me that okay, this is the project which you have done in the past, this is the one which we might be doing in the present. So this all are the parameters over here which I would like to take into account, and this is what you have done. So based upon that particular project idea, how would like to link up towards that. So they would just ask such questions to check that how well I am adaptable to the situations of such things. So do I really know about those concepts, or I have just mugged up those projects by heart, and so that I'm just explaining them.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So I think we have almost covered the important things that are being involved in this internship. So we will going to end this video. So before ending this, any useful advice for the students in brief, if you wanted to talk about, number one, that I would say that try to maintain your CGPA, because it's one of the criteria. After that, you could only apply for this, because I have seen like the many students have messaged me around this. They have the 7 CGPA at the time of filling the application form, so already they are not going to be eligible even, and they have the very good profile. So what do you think, like the later points that you would like to cover?
Tell all of them would be like, if you are in the first or second year, the things I would specifically say to you all, don't start with the research currently. So like if you are planning for Mitacs and this is one of the things you would like to keep in mind, there are various other options also. So try to explore things which are out of your syllabus or which are being taught over there in your university course curriculum itself. So because the things or the projects which you might be doing in the research internship or anywhere else would be things which would be beyond your course curriculum. So just try to look beyond the books, any field. It could be in terms of UI UX, or it could be of those who would be in energy sector. It would be an electrical based domain, robotics or mechanical, computer science, and it could be of IoT, machine learning, quantum computing, ethical hacking, whatsoever points it would be. Just try to go in detail. So like if you feel that this particular domain intrigues you, don't just stop over there and just be like, okay, I know stuffs about that. Just try to go in depth of that particular domain, so that it could be useful for you when before the time of application comes, during your this summer break, you could be writing a research paper based upon that. So and if it get accepted before the application ends, you would be having a particular edge over those students who might not be, and even those students who might be in the currently in their third year and would be applying this. So my advice would be them to be that don't panic just because you haven't done such things right from the advance. So my advice to them would be like, if you know a particular domain over there, just try to get in depth over there as soon as possible. Just try to make projects based upon that, because it can highlight that you know stuffs. So if you don't have research paper, try to build some excellent projects or participate in particular hackathons, so which could be a very useful, because hackathons are also a practical based work. So try to show your knowledge. Doesn't mean that you have to win that particular hackathon. Just try to be a participant and showcase your work. It could be in GitHub, and showcase the part which you have done, what all things you have learned from that. So this would be an amazing journey so that you could get shortlisted, get encompassed with that.
We are going to like end this video, and so I hope like this video will be useful for the students. The valuable information and the suggestion that you have provided to the students. Like best of luck for your journey to Canada. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, I would just like to end like once again, thank you so much, sir, for this amazing journey over here. So it was great interacting with you and sharing valuable insights to the people so that even they could achieve something big which they wish to. And just hope everyone that never be afraid of those, that if you're not in tier one or tier two, whensoever you are, just try to be what you are and hustle over things which you want to achieve. You will definitely get over there.
That's all in this video. Thank you.